Hey YouTube, I want to spend a few minutes talking about my experience buying a Yamaha WR250R. The first video I ever did for YouTube several years ago, many years ago, is about how to buy a brand new motorcycle. And I am very much a value shopper, and I thought I had a good idea of what it would take to get a good deal. However, I had to break some of my own rules buying this bike, and I think that my experience might be helpful for people who are in the market for a WR. One of my rules is never to pay MSRP, which I ended up doing in this case. This is a pretty high demand bike, and it seems like the supply from Yamaha is fairly low. There's not too many. My dealer had to travel about 30 miles just to get a 2016. So, I was kind of in a bad position, so I had to pay MSRP. Another rule that I have is don't pay freight charges, and I didn't have to do that here, so that was good. When I was in the market, I considered the DRZ 400 from Suzuki. I gave that a pretty good look. The MSRP of the DRZ is only $100 less, not really that big of a deal. Now, when I went to look at leftovers, which is how I've bought previous bikes, I found that for a 2015 model, I could get a DRZ 400 for about $5,800. Now, when I priced out a 2015 WR that was a leftover, it was about $700 more, $6,500. To me, the $700 was well worth getting the WR. And actually, the 2015 WR was only $200 less than the 2016. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to get the 2016. I wanted something brand new with a warranty. I hold bikes for a long time. So for me, the 2016 worked out. Now, I did consider used bikes, but I just could not find anything within 100 miles of my location. Even then, many of them were 2008s, earlier models, 6, 7, 8 years old. So they're really looking for something newer. And most of them had some modifications to the engine, exhaust system, fuel programming. As I've said in another video, I really don't want to mess around with that right now. I was really looking for something stock. So I really just could not find anything. And I didn't want to wait a few months for something to show up. I really wanted to get out and ride this season. One of the things I suggest when buying a new bike is to play other dealers off each other. Call around, see where you can get your best deal. I did that here. I called dealers for within probably 100 to 150 mile range, and I just couldn't find anything. In fact, the funny thing was I called this place in Long Island called Island Motorsports that listed a new WR for about $1,000 off MSRP. But sure enough, as soon as I called and talked to somebody, they had mandatory charges, freight charges and so forth that bumped that price right up to MSRP. So the best deal I actually found was at my local dealer, Ray's Cycle in Greenfield, Mass., which was MSRP plus a $110 documentation fee. Because of the nature of the bike and the high demand, I decided to pull the trigger, and as a bonus, I got a good relationship with a local dealer. They've been in business forever. They seem to know what they're doing. My good friend Craig bought his bike there, and he had a great experience. So I don't have any regrets about going locally. And I frankly couldn't find another deal unless I waited around for a long time. Now, one of the things that I believe about buying a new motorcycle is just make your deal and move on. Don't look back, enjoy the bike. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not going back and looking at what other WRs are selling for. But I think this experience might be helpful for you if you are looking. You're in a kind of a tough position with a WR. As much as I love to be a value shopper, in this case I just couldn't. I had to pay full retail. But again, for what I got for my money, I'm loving it and no regrets there. Now, one thing that did make it a little bit easier is my value shopping nature came into play. I really did not want to take out a loan on this bike, and I was determined not to do that. And $6,800 is a lot of money. So several months ago, I really started working hard to try to raise the money to pay cash for the bike. The first thing I did was I started selling a lot of stuff I had on eBay, Craigslist, and even Facebook groups. And through that, I was actually able to raise a couple $1,000s in maybe 3 or 4 months. Then I had 2 other motorcycles that I just wasn't riding as much anymore. I sold those too. So between all of that, a lot of hustle. In fact, I even made $100 on YouTube videos, just like the one that you're watching now, that helped. So thank you guys for supporting the YouTube channel. But I was actually able to come up with a full cash price for this bike in a few months, and that feels really awesome. So I got my value shopping in. I got a great bike. I couldn't be happier. So if you have any questions about buying the WR, I'd love to hear them. I also love the discussion. I'd like to hear what people are maybe paying for new bikes down below in the comments. That will help people who are in the market for a WR right now. As for me, I'm really enjoying this bike. Look forward to some more videos. It's going to be an awesome summer. I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow for a 3-day weekend on the puppy dog route in Vermont, taking the Tenere, so I'm sure we'll have some videos from that. Maybe do some comparisons with some other bikes, or just talk about the trip. So stay tuned. Thanks again for watching the videos, for the thumbs up, for the comments, and all the support. Really appreciate it.